Got a little delay going on. Hey, Debbie Harms, how are you? Hey, Jimmy Collins. Got just a little bit of a delay going on, but that's okay. We'll take it. Hey, Jerry Cox, how are you? How's everybody doing? Evening, all. Evening. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys be sure to share and like this. Get everybody involved that you can. Invite everybody that you know, everybody that you don't like, everybody that you like and love, and invite all the haters. Well, I'm glad there's nothing on TV, Leslie. I really am. Hey, Brett. Good day, mate. How's it going? Yeah, folks. Brett, I stopped in there just for a minute a couple minutes ago and seen what you was talking about. Screw the UN. That's all I got to say. Screw the UN. And I agree with you. But yeah, guys, you guys like and share this. Invite everybody you can. We're trying to blow this thing up. We got, what is it, 800? 800. We need 1,000. Also, YouTube. Redcon 1 Media on YouTube. There's a Redcon 1 and there's a Redcon 1 Media. You need to go to the Redcon 1 Media page and on YouTube. We're trying to get that up there. Hey, Mr. Finnerty, how you doing? We're trying to get YouTube up and going because hopefully here soon we're going to be doing a lot of things on YouTube. So we're going to be going there. So, guys, I am filling in for Big Sarge tonight. As everybody know, Big Sarge's missus just went through a procedure at the hospital. So he's taking care of her and the family. And he asked the Patriotic Rancher show with Mr. Brutally Honest to come on for him. So, ta-da, here we are. Here we are. And we're doing good. We're doing real good. Thanks, Brett. I appreciate it. Yeah, share it with everybody in Australia. Hell yes, I like that. You know, see, Leslie, you guys got hundreds of channels, and there ain't a damn thing on. All right? We don't have TV. We got Netflix, and we got a shitload of DVDs. Plus, we got all the British channels, plus Roku, and all that. So there's tons of stuff on all the time. Even the old movies, and they're all free. I'm talking about movies back in the heydays of the 30s, the 40s, 50s, 60s. And they're free. They don't cost nothing. So, and it's got tons of kids stuff on there too. So we found that on the smart TV that we got. So that's what we watch. You know, it's kind of like the hell with it. Yep, there I was. Yeah, Leslie, like I was saying, I'm here filling in for Big Sarge, and I'm happy. I'm glad to do it. Not a problem. Hey, Jay, how are you? Hey, Irene, how are you doing? Let's see here. Hey, Deanne, how are you? How are you? Thanks for joining us. Everybody like and share and invite. Invite everybody. The hell with it. I don't care who they are. Bring them on. We're going to have some fun today. I got to adjust this for just a second here. All right. There we go. All right. In case you're wondering if this is the same shirt as yesterday, no. I got two of these. I just happened to put them on back to back. But that's okay. I like this shirt. It's a nice little flannel shirt. Donna Joe got it for me. Man, I tell you what, it kept you warm, even though I didn't need it today because it got up in the 60s. Man, hell, that was nice. Yeah, cable. I mean, that's outrageous. That is outrageous. Well, see, if you got Netflix, you can put it on the laptop, put it in the kitchen, because you can play it on your laptop there, Leslie. Idea. Hey, Jerry Gabriel, how you doing? All right, so everybody knows how we do this. We're going to get this thing started off right, and then we're going to rock and roll and have us a good time. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. liberty and justice for all, folks. Not just for one select group of people, but for all. You know, the way things are going right now, there is one group of people out there who thinks they're entitled. They are the only ones that should receive any justice. They think, oh, I got to do something here. I might have a guest. Mike. I asked. But anyway, so we have one group of people out here that think they're the only ones entitled to liberty and justice. They think they're the only ones to be afforded that. They think they're the only ones that are eligible for anything like that. Even though they claim that all the illegals attacking the border right now are supposed to have that. Even though they claim that all those poor, innocent souls, those law-abiding souls down there in Mexico should have our liberties and our justice system too. That they should be afforded our constitutional rights. And this one party thinks that they are the only ones that should have anything done that concerns liberty, freedoms, and justice. And here on the Patriotic Rancher Show with Mr. Brutally Honest on Redcon One Media, I am here to tell you, if you are in the Democratic Party, an active member of the Democratic Party in the Republic of the United States of America, and you think this, you are absolutely out of your cuckoo-loving mind. I know you're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but you've just lost it. You have lost your way of thinking. You have lost the insight that this great country has put in front of you by the blood, sweat, tears of our forefathers. You know, all day today, I've been looking through a lot of things when we got back home, and I know when I was coming off for Big Sarge, and that's some big shoes to fill in, ladies and gentlemen. It really is. But I got home and I visited with Big Sarge and I visited with some other guys, and I started looking at some things. And I'm kind of like, holy crap. Let's just see what's going to happen here. Let's just see how this is going to play out. Let's just see how the left is supposed to be the better of the two that we have. Because that's all we have. We have the two. Because they don't want to recognize independence. They don't want to recognize constitutionalists. They don't want to recognize libertarians. They don't want to recognize anybody unless you got a jackass. Yep, I dropped something here. I got to get it. You know, they think the only thing out there, the most important thing is if you got a jackass or an elephant, then that's it. And they're not going to listen to the elephant at all. Because they think they're going to be like an old jackass and just start kicking people. Well, a jackass does have a pretty deadly kick. They do. And they're stubborn. And they're hard-headed. But I went back and looked at some things on how the Democratic Party of old compares to the Democratic Party of today. You know, back in the 50s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, and even the 70s, there was a lot of moderates on the Democratic side. There was a lot of moderates on the Republican side. Liberals started taking over, i.e. progressives started taking over. Now, when did the progressives start taking over? A lot of people say that Hillary Clinton brought the progressives out to the forefront. She didn't. Hillary Clinton did not bring the progressives out into the forefront. The progressives actually started rearing their ugly heads back when Woodrow Wilson was president. You know, this is history. This is history. And I guarantee you it's something that the youth of today don't know. You know, there is a deal on Netflix that I've been watching, and it's the history of the United States. And it talks about all the presidents and the conflicts and what's going on. This doesn't go all the way back to George Washington, no. It starts I think it's on Netflix, so it's been a while. I think it starts when Theodore Roosevelt was president and starts going up, or it could be FDR. I'm not for sure. But I mean, you guys have to watch it. It's good. I will get the name of it and I will put it on. But it is good. It is good. A lot of history. A lot of history you never knew about. And what they've done is they've just taken a lot of the myths that you heard and brought in the truth about it. Now, progressives aren't new. Liberals aren't new. But yet they think they are. What we've done in this country, from everybody being silent and nobody fighting for what's what, is we've lost the moderates, which we all know JFK was a moderate. We've lost that. Is it because when they assassinated Kennedy, all the moderates thought, holy shit, they're going to kill me too? So, you know, I was looking at that compared to today's liberals. What were they like back then? Were they this radicalized back then, like they are today? Were they this obstinate back then as they are today? No, they wasn't. They didn't come out and say, impeach that mother at all. They didn't say stuff like that. They didn't swear on a religious Bible that was not the Bible that's being accepted in the United States of America. You know, 118 degrees. Holy crap, Brett, you can keep that. It don't even get that hot in Oklahoma. But, you know, he has our liberals have really started making an impact in the 80s, believe it or not. That's where they really started coming out. When Reagan was in office, the liberal movement, i.e. the progressive movement, really started taking hold. Now you look at today's society. Today's society thinks it's commonplace for the liberals to be so outlandish. The liberals to be so rude, crude, and totally unacceptable. Because that is their norm. Just look at what Nancy Pelosi said today. I'm going to pull this up. I saved it. And I'm going to look at it here. I think I got it. Yeah, I got it right here. Saved. Saved all my saved stuff. Nope, that's the other one. That's where she prays. Nancy Pelosi came out on, she was on, this is on CNS News. Okay. Nancy, it's no big deal that her colleague, Representative, oh, get out of there. Why does it do that? I don't want that. No, damn it. Are you kidding me? It says no big deal that her colleague, Rashida Tlaib of Michigan, called President Trump a MF. House Speaker Representative Nancy Pelosi told an MSN MSNBC town hall on Friday. Thursday, on her first day on the job, this Representative Tlaib declared, "We're going to impeach that MF." Asked to comment on the vulgar remark, Pelosi invoked freedom of speech and said people shouldn't make a big deal of it. Freedom of speech. Okay, the Democrats have been after us from freedom of speech. I even told you guys that right here in the state of Oklahoma, they're trying to pass a bill now that restricts our freedom of speech against the government of the state of Oklahoma. Well, now, how long has the Democrats and the government been coming after us over the freedom of speech? They've been saying everything that conservatives says is bad, it's harmful, we're doing things wrong, we're creating a lot of hate and discontent and everything else like that. But yet, what did she say? She said, what's the freedom of speech? And she said people shouldn't make a big deal of it. She said, Pelosi said, that's freedom of speech on an individual member. As I said, generationally, that would not be the language that I would use, but nonetheless, I don't think we should make it a big deal of it. I really don't. I really don't. The freedom of speech, that freedom of speech is okay because it was singled out onto an individual member. Okay. So we really shouldn't make a big deal of it. My colleagues' comments do not have an impact on people's lives at all. Pelosi said, adding that Representative Tlaib's vulgarity is just the way people talk. That's the way people talk around. Again, I'm a grandmother, and that's a different story, but words weigh a ton. And the president has to realize that his words weigh a ton too. And some of the words that he uses had a direct impact, she said it twice, on people's lives. My colleagues' comments do not impact people's lives. Wrong. They do impact people's lives. The President of the United States and his families and his son and his other children, when you go around calling him an MF in front of everybody, for one, you're talking about the President of the United States, your boss, the person we hired and put up there in the executive branch, the person we put in charge to be the representative of the Republic of the United States of America. That is who you're talking about. Would you be, Tlaib, Representative Tlaib, would you be happy if I went around and saying, get that B word out of office? See, that's only going to you. That shouldn't affect anybody else. If I started calling you a female dog, should that matter at all? Because those comments only go to you, right? So I don't see how that should be a problem, but it does. Words mean a lot. Like Nancy Pelosi said, I do agree with her. She said words mean a ton. And our president's words mean a ton. Yeah, they do. And so do your Nancy Pelosi. And so does everybody else's in the House and the Senate. And I don't give a shit what side of the row you're on. Everything you say, you should be held accountable for. No ifs, ands, buts about it. Because I'm accountable for everything I say. Am I right, Donna Joe?
Yes, you are.
You heard it first from the queen of the Patriotic Rancher Show. You know, I'm held accountable for everything I say. Not only by her, but by me, my children, my friends, my family, my co-workers, and everybody I deal with in life. So therefore, you should be held accountable for what you say. And Nancy Pelosi, so should you, and so should everybody else. I like that. I like that, Linda. Leslie, I like that. I like that, Leslie. Don't talk about that woman. I want to throat punch her the worst way, and I'm so sick and tired. You know, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen.
Shush.
The queen.
Gosh.
Of the Patriotic Ratchet Show. Miss Donna Joe.
I can't find you on here.
Go to Redcon 1.
I can't get it.
Okay.
I am computer illiterate.
That's all right. I'll get it. Give me a second here, folks.
I couldn't find you.
There. Facebook.
Y'all want orange? Tangerine? Cutie pie?
No, I don't want that. Give me a second here, folks. I got to get Donna Joe back to where we need to go here.
I was doing laundry.
You got several Facebooks open.
I just close off.
Close all. Okay, here we go. Where you got your Facebook at?
Social media right there.
Social media?
Of
All
course.
All right, give me a second here, folks. Red on one media.
There we go.
How come it didn't go there?
See?
It will. Red.
All right.
Gone. Con
It's right there.
media. LLC.
That's it. Right there.
I know. Right there.
Mm-hmm. Sorry. Just to make sure the volume's down.
Okay.
All right.
There you go. All right. We're good to go. Anyway, so should this representative be held accountable for what she said? Yes, she should. For the simple fact is because the rest of us are held responsible for what we say. Now, if your boss heard you say, we're going to get rid of that MF, what do you think your boss would do to you? What would your boss do?
You'd probably get fired.
In a heartbeat.
If not get fired, you would get reprimanded, wrote up, suspended, without, sorry.
No, you're fine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I'll just move this over here. That's not a problem. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things that could happen to you because of the ignorance from the words you say. That's the whole about it. So, my question is this to you good folks. Should that representative be fired, recalled, and or reprimanded?
In this country, do we or do we not hold those in charge at a higher standard?
Right. Now, they have a thing in Congress that people forget about. It's called the Ethics Committee.
Mm-hmm.
Did she violate the ethics of the seat that she holds
I don't
by
think
what she said?
she's not being very ethical,
No.
moral.
Her first day.
Her first day, she screwed up. I mean, you know what? Don't let her keep going. Let her hang herself.
Yeah.
And she will.
Yeah. You know, so it really makes me wonder. No, Kevin, I don't agree. She is not fireproof because she's a woman and a Muslim. I do not believe that. She's a Somali. I don't agree with that statement because women are actually held at a higher standard than men in a lot of situations, especially being a representative in the House, because they have this seat of power. So, in people in her district that she represents, not all of them are Democrats. So if she's representing those people, and those people that are not Democrats are saying, hey, we don't agree with this. So are they going to hold her accountable? Or are they going to give her a pass? I don't think they're going to give her a pass, because we know not everybody that lives everywhere is a Democrat. So if she has Republicans there, she has moderates there, she has independents there, guarantee you they're not going to be happy with that language that she used. So yes, I think she needs to be held accountable. She needs an ethics charge put on her right off the bat. You know, the ethics committee, they went after Mad Maxine, they've gone after Sheila Jackson Reed, they've gone after Green, they've gone after everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's time to start going after all these newbies right away.
I don't think it has nothing to do with the fact that she's a woman. Quite frankly, I don't think women are held any more accountable than men. I mean, who was it that just was talking about, our president, you know, he got reprimanded for locker room talk.
Yeah.
You know, and he's a man. So is he allowed to get away with it? I don't think so.
No.
So why is a woman allowed to get away with it?
Right. And he didn't get away with it.
No, he did not.
They went after him lock, stock, and barrel.
So just because she's a woman doesn't mean that she is of a higher authority or power or anything else in the land. Her mouth can get her in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody's mouth can get us in trouble, and it usually does.
You know, and here we have the Speaker of the House coming out and saying, Speaker Pelosi says she has no intent or intention to trying to limit the vulgarity of her party.
I agree with you, Jeff. I do agree. I think if she gets a pass, it's because of her religion.
Exactly.
They don't want to rock that boat. They don't want to open that can of worms, because that can stinks.
You know, and here's the problem. Talk about two-face. Mm-hmm. For one, the Democrats are going after, especially Pelosi. She went after conservatives hard over free speech.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Trying to censor us.
Mm-hmm.
And she's saying that whatever the new representatives are saying, that's okay. However they want to say, that's fine. She's not going to limit the vulgarity. So now, Robert's rules are thrown completely out the window. There is no such thing now in the House of Representatives. Now they're going to start allowing cussing, vulgarity, ill-gotten gains, rude, crude, totally unacceptable behavior.
You know, it's almost like, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
It's almost like the Amish,
mm-hmm.
You know, when they get to a certain age and they go to
Ramadan or not?
Rumspringa. Yeah. And it's almost like this woman is in a country where she can get away with this. She's gone crazy. She's gone off her rocker. She is a child that is out on her own for the first time and cannot make good moral decisions.
Well, you got to remember, when she was elected, she won the election. What did she do? She wrapped herself in that Palestinian flag. Mm-hmm. So here's the question. Is she Somalian? Is she Palestinian? Which is she? Is she actually from those countries? But she's wrapped herself in the flag. She's dancing all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she basically don't like America. But yet, here's the funny part on all of this, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the funny part. The Democrats have been going after censorship with us. Mm-hmm. Look at Facebook. Yeah. Look at YouTube. Look at Twitter, Instagram. Everything is censoring everybody. But these are the words of Nancy Pelosi. I am not in the censorship business. I don't like that language. I wouldn't use that language, but I won't establish a language standards for my colleagues. But I don't think it is anything worse than what the president has said.
Oh, I don't think so either. Quite honestly, I mean, if we're gonna lump it all into one bit, you know, yeah.
Right.
When you get on here and you start your ranting and raving, and you get, I mean, don't you hear about it later on?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You not only hear from me, but you also hear from people who watch you.
Yeah.
Why are we held to a higher moral compass than others that are in charge?
Because we should have the fortitude to be in control of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, this lady now holds a federal office, a federal seat in the government. So therefore, she should be in control of her faculties and
Right.
what she says and what she does and the way she acts, just like we are supposed to.
Absolutely.
So therefore, it's not like what the president said. Yes, some of the stuff the president said is kind of tough to take. And I don't agree with everything he said, but I do not agree with what she said at all. Because what that's doing, that is bringing forth something and taking away from tradition of the house, i.e. Robert's rules. Now she's trying to impose a new form of standard. And it's not only her, it's Ocasio and all of the new young guns.
They've lowered the standard.
Yeah, they have. They've lowered the standard big time.
It's like our millennialist. You know, I talk about this at work a lot, and it's the younger 30-something group. Me as a parent, have I been the one that's downplayed this? Have I been a culprit to enhance that, to allow that, to see that that's the norm, that that's okay? I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I heard something foul coming out of my kid's room, yeah, I corrected him on it. If I heard a CD that wasn't appropriate, that had inappropriate language or content, it was mine to do with what I want. My house, my rules. You know, this is my country, my rules too.
Oh, damn right.
You know,
and I was always taught as a young person that our representatives, whether it be county, city, state, federal government, are the higher echelon of people that we look up to, be role models,
mm-hmm.
to help guide our youth on different paths in their life. Like, we got people that want to be, kids that want to be astronauts, kids that want to be nautical engineers in the oceans. We got kids that want to be in the government, you know, that study in political science, that's trying to figure out if they want to run for a position or not. And you got somebody like this spouting stuff out of their pie hole, it takes that away from them. It really sets a bad standard for the kids. I don't know a kid, one, that would actually love hearing what she said unless they're a snowflake. So that's just me. That is just me. Now, along with this, we have a lot of other things going on in America right now, ladies and gentlemen. We warned everybody that there's going to be a lot of Democrats run for this in this election, run under the Republican ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to switch back over to be a Democrat.
And they do.
And it's happened.
Yes.
It has happened. And a prime example of this, the state of Kansas, the land of the Jayhawkers, the land of the Wildcats. Jeff Vire, this is your country. I don't know why I'm getting this thing from Pioneer Cellular. I have no clue.
Jeff, I agree with you. He said, someone said, if you have to use language like that, you have a weak argument.
You do. It really shows your intelligence level.
Or the lack thereof.
So that's a very good question. Has the intelligence level of being a representative of the people of your district, has that been lowered?
Quite a bit.
And that's a shame. That is a shame.
I mean, you would think even the Democrats. I mean, I know a lot of Democrats. I used to go to church with a lot of them. I mean, they were good, moral people. I mean, they had moral fiber. We disagreed on a lot of things, but they didn't swear like a bunch of drunken sailors either.
No, they didn't. No, not at all. Not at all.
I'm just saying, as America, being the youngest country on the planet, we're being laughed at. I think we've had this conversation before. I mean, we are literally the laughingstock of the planet. Here we are, supposed to be the superpower, and we can't even control our own tongues. I mean, that's really quite pathetic. So, but that's just my 2 cents worth.
Now, as I was saying, I just want to say that, guys, go out there and hit the like and share button. Invite everybody you know and everybody you don't know and everybody you hate. Please vote everybody. I mean, invite everybody you hate. I want to see them on here. I want to see the trolls on here. I love it when trolls show up.
Oh yeah, I do too.
I love it when trolls show up because they can get their ass handed to them and they don't even know it.
Oh yeah, because you guys have something fun to.
Oh yeah, you guys get to tear them up too.
Yeah, you
do. Know. Now in Kansas, that's a prime example of what happened. And number 4, Kansas Republican lawmaker announces switch to the Democratic Party. 2 moderate Kansas Republican legislators switched to the Democratic Party on Wednesday, joining 2 other suburban Kansas City lawmakers who made the switch last week. State Senator Diane Sykes of Lenexa and State Representative Stephanie Clayton of Overland Park both said they believe they could be more effective legislators as Democrats. All of the lawmakers switching parties are from Johnson County. Now, this is the interesting part. What's going on in Johnson County, Kansas? Something very interesting is happening there. You need to look up the state of Kansas and find out where Johnson County is. There's something very interesting happening in that county, ladies and gentlemen.
What's going on there? I didn't hear.
There's a lot of things going on there. It's not good. And I'm actually going to be diving into that in another show. Now, all these lawmakers are switching parties are from Johnson County, which is the state's most populous county, in which Democratic Governor-elect Laura Kelly carried in last month's election. Okay. So Johnson County is the number 1 Democratic county pretty much in Kansas.
Okay.
So despite the defections, the Republicans will maintain supermajorities in both the House and the Senate. You know, they have slip in, they have 84 to 41 in the House and 28 to 11 and 1 independent in the Senate.
I have a question.
Yeah.
And maybe somebody out there can tell me. If someone runs on the Democratic Party or the Republican Party and gets elected under that party ticket, are they considered still, even if they switch, are they still considered a Democrat or a Republican? Because that's what the platform they ran on.
You know, in all honesty, I don't know that. I do know that I've actually never heard of a Democrat going full on Republican. If they do, they don't do it in office. I've heard them going to independent.
Mm-hmm.
But while in office, I personally have never heard of a Democrat going from being a Democrat to full on Republican. And I do not know. Like she said, that's a good question for you guys. Do Democrats who switch over to be Republicans,
or vice versa,
are they still considered Democrats at voting time in the House or the Senate? Are they still considered the party in which they got elected on?
But I just don't know.
I don't either. All right, so here's something for you. So Sykes was elected to the Senate in 2016, defeating a conservative incumbent in the GOP primary. She said her district is moderate and pragmatic. At this time, I feel I can either fight to change the Republican Party or fight for the state I love and the people I serve, she said in the statement. Okay. Clayton was first elected to the House in 2010 and has been a vocal advocate for government transparency and an organizer of Bipartisan Women's Caucus. She says she believes she can best support public schools as a Democrat. Really? So you have to be a Democrat in order to try to do right for the schools. The Democrats are the ones screwing up our education system. That don't make no sense to me. It don't. Well, Bush brought out No Child Left Behind Act, which really screwed a lot of kids over because they just pushed kids through.
Oh yeah.
We know.
Yeah, we don't have to go. Yeah.
But they've pushed kids straight through. I know this firsthand personally. And then Obama come along, Common Core.
What the heck is core? I mean, core is the middle of an apple, folks. I mean,
yeah,
seriously.
Common Core is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of.
There is no logic to that.
You know, and the Democrats, along with the rhinos, have destroyed our education system. So this lady says she can be best to serve her schools as a Democrat. Really? I hope to be able to continue to serve as a bridge between parties, helping our legislature and state find common sense bipartisanship solutions to the issues we face. Does that sound like the party line BS to you? Because that's what it is. You know, Senator Barbara Boiler of Mission Hills and departing Representative Joy Costin of Leawood switched to the Democratic Party last week. Clayton won re-election this year, but Costin lost her GOP primary and leaves office in January. Boiler and Sykes are serving 4-year terms that run through 2020. Now, I got a lot of friends in Kansas. We got people on here from the great state of Kansas. I've worked on ranches up in the Flint Hills, Kansas.
I drove through Kansas?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Sorry.
I took you up through Coldwater and over north there, all the way to east to the north of Tulsa. But anyway, Kansas is a beautiful state.
Yes, it is.
And Kansas has always been a red state. But for some reason, now,
it's blue.
It's turning blue. And it turned blue this election.
That's that.
Now the question is why? Why has the great state of Kansas gone to hell in a handbasket? That is a very important question. And you folks living in Kansas, y'all need to be paying attention. Y'all need to be taking a look at that county. Y'all need to see what's going on in your state government. You know, we're so intent with the federal government. We are.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's so worried about their federal government right now. What about your state governments? What kind of BS are they doing?
Look at your city governments, your school governments, people. Come on. Do you actually know what they're teaching your kids?
Yeah, and Dawn,
even if you don't have
she has a daughter-in-law that's a teacher, an art teacher. But some of the stuff they're teaching in school. I remember when Pelosi said we need to start handing condoms out and teaching first, second, third graders what they're for. We need to start handing contraceptives out in elementary school.
Come on, people. First, second, third graders still have trouble holding their liquids.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. They don't need to worry about holding and placing a condom.
They would think of them as a balloon.
Yeah. You know, I'm sorry, but it's true. I mean, and they can barely hold their liquid some days, and it's just crazy. It's just nonsense. I'm sorry. I got to share this with you. Leslie said, I got it posted on Nancy's wall. I put a good video for y'all to watch. Then I posted the link. Thank you, Leslie. You are an awesome.
and William Faraday brings up a very good point. Something unlawful is going on, don't you think? You know, ladies and gentlemen, here's the biggest thing. You know, I'm always talking about stuff that you normally don't hear and don't get covered on mainstream news and stuff like that. Because we have gotten away from critical thinking so much. We're conservatives are this way too. We go gaga over the main news. We go gaga over stuff that we hear. Oh my God, I can't believe the Democrats did that. Or, oh, well, they're going after our president again. That's what sticks in our brain. This little brain cap we got up here, that's what sticks there. But what about the stuff like this that they're sneaking under and nobody's hearing about?
That's the stuff that worries me. I'm not worried about the stuff that is so sensationalized that everybody's talking about it. Everybody's all up in arms about it. I'm not worried about that. I mean, well, to an extent I am. But the stuff that I don't hear, the stuff that they're doing behind closed doors, secretly, the whole Watergate tapes type stuff, that's the stuff that worries me. That's the stuff that concerns me for my children, my grandchildren, my great-grand. Not only for mine, but for yours too,
Well, Susan said they want to make sure our kids will blindly obey the government, and they are legalizing marijuana so everyone will become docile.
Yeah. And fat, because they're all going to have the bunchies. But that's not going to happen, because have you guys seen kids' lunches these days?
Yeah.
It's pretty sad. Pathetic, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the problem. Here's the problem. We have people changing parties. We knew this was going to happen. We told you it was going to happen. We warned you that people were going to run under the Republican ticket and then change over to the Democrats. We told you this was going to happen, didn't we?
Yep, you did.
Do you remember that show?
Yeah, we talked about it.
And it's kind of like, what in the hell? People, we have to start paying attention to what's going on. Because the Democrats already came out, and they've been doing this for several years, teaching us and showing us their playbook on how they do things. This isn't only in the federal government, it's in the state level too. And it's in your county level and your city level also, folks. And you got to pay attention to that. You really do.
Kevin wants to know, do they still swear when they're swearing in to honor and defend the Constitution?
I do not know. I really do not know. I remember watching televised deals of people getting sworn in. And yes, they had to say those words. But today, I do not know if they have to swear to protect the Constitution. I do not know that.
Well, what about that one who wouldn't swear in a Bible and they got some kind of law book or something?
One did a law book and the other one did a Quran. Which president had that Quran? Some president had the Quran, and that one we was talking about earlier, she swore in on that Quran.
Yeah.
Now, should they be allowed to use the Quran to swear in? No, I don't think so. That's just me, though. I do not think so. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things going on. And the problem is, Debbie Harm's been getting kicked off. Sorry to hear that, Debbie. Okay, Leslie said, do you know if it's true or not? I was just reading an article last night that the mainstream media has been manipulated by the globalists over a decade. They were always leftists, but even a blind leftist has been able to see how wrong propaganda is to a free society. Perhaps it's not anything they have control over anymore. Yes, our mainstream media is nothing but globalist. For one, it was out, there was that morning show on MSNBC, the blonde-haired lady. I can't remember her name because I don't watch them. But she was actually, one of the technicians there, camera people put this out. It was a video of them doing a bit with 2 or 3 other people. And she was so enraged that she finally let it slip that the American people are only supposed to know what we tell them. So yes, that's a global agenda.
You know what? That ought to just tick people off. Even when I was growing up, if somebody told me no, I couldn't do something, or no, I had to do a certain way, I was like, are you kidding? I was hellbound to do it my way. What is wrong with us, people? Where is the American way? Where is our gumption?
Exactly.
Have we lost our gumption? Have we become so complacent that we're so afraid that we're going to hurt somebody's feelings? You know, I mean, goodness gracious, people. It's
this politically,
it's pathetic.
You know, and that reminds me too, with this representative saying MF, we're going to impeach that MF. Is that political correctness that the Democrats have been pushing upon us and the globalists have been pushing upon us?
Oh, yeah.
But it's okay for them to say that, but we're going to have a reckoning if we say anything like that.
You know what? Then it's time to let the dam burst, in all honesty. And I mean that literally. I mean, they can inundate us. They can inundate our children. They can overtake us, overstep their boundaries. I think it's, you know, time we take it back.
You know, and the bad thing is, there's still sheeple here.
Oh, yeah.
On both sides. On both sides. There are still sheeple on both sides still thinking that the government would not lie, that the government is being honest, that the government is going to take care of them. You know, we have people blindly following people. And they're blindly following them. They're not doing any checking into these people doing nothing. But they see these people lying to them all the time. They hear these people lying to them all the time. And the falsifications are pretty damn big. But yet they're still following them. They're still sheeple on both sides. There's people out there that think Mitch McConnell is one hell of a good guy. There's people out there that swear Paul Ryan is a true patriot. There's people out there that still swear that there's absolutely nothing wrong with the Republican Party because it's perfect the way it is.
It's not perfect. We all have room to improve.
Oh, yeah. So my question to you folks, here's a question for you folks. Do you think people on both sides, the Democrats and Republicans, still have sheeple following them? And do you think the sheeple propaganda is getting bigger, especially on the Democrat side? I do. I do.
Do you think, and I'm just going to throw this out because I've been guilty of it too. Here we are living out in
God's country.
God's country, literally. But how many people don't have internet? How many people don't watch? How many people don't even watch TV anymore? I remember my grandparents, when they finally got a TV, and boy, my grandpa would say, shh, shh, shh. You know, we all just didn't even tippy-toe in front of the TV. You know, you don't cross in front of the TV when the news was on. TV can go off, but on that half hour or hour when Walter Cronkite is on, you were quiet.
Yeah, you didn't say it down word.
No. But nowadays, are people reading their papers? Are they really? Do they believe it? Are they staying up on current events?
You know, Donna brings home the Woodward newspaper. And the Woodward newspaper, you can read it. And it's very liberal biased, believe it or not. It's not conservative.
Yeah.
It's liberal biased. Because everybody they put in on their opinion columns are liberals.
Yeah.
It's very obvious. You know, and so when Donna brings them home, we use that paper for the fire, for the wood stove. But I read it first. I do read it. And our local paper at the most might be 4 pages, maybe 5 if they're lucky. Yeah. But that's a good question. Do they read the paper? Do they try to learn from something that's printed? The printed word has many, many values to it. Right, wrong, or indifferent. The printed word means so much. Grab that book right there, 2020.
All right.
It's just like this book right here that Donna Joe's getting. 2020, written by Bill Muckler. A Clear Vision for America. I have read this book 3 times so far. I have several books down here. One is Crow Killer, Liver Eating Johnson. I'm a big history buff, so he's a mountain man. Jeremiah Johnson. No, not the Robert Redford movie.
Notice the resemblance, people.
What? Jeremiah Johnson? Yeah. But I read a lot of books, and I learn through books. So as Americans, are we still reading? Are we still gaining knowledge? And is our youth doing that? Or is everybody living on these damn things? Is everybody getting all their information from this, from one or two sources only? Myself, I look at like 50 different sources a day. And then I decipher what I read is what's bullshit or not. And you have to do that. You can't look at something and say, oh my God, oh, yeah, look at this. No, I want to go for it. Like today, I posted something. It's old. It's old. It's from a couple of years ago, but it talks about the national debt. It looks like you're doing your home budget. And I shared that on a post, and a lady came back and said, this is a couple of years old, but still true. And I said, yes, that's why I posted it, because it's still true. Now, as Americans, how do we expect to get any better if we're still being sheeple and following these people and not reading and not deciphering for ourselves?
Exactly.
How are we supposed to take our republic back if we let people in Washington, D.C., in our state, in our county, in our city, dictate to us what we can do? I mean, we got townships and cities saying you can't own firearms, that you're going to be arrested if you don't turn in all of your firearms.
What guns?
Huh?
What guns?
What guns? Prove to me that I have guns.
What guns?
I don't know. Don't have the slightest idea. Maybe that little pea shooter or that spud gun.
We don't even have that. Are you kidding?
But that's, in all honesty, folks, think about it. Think about it. Is our government trying to kill us? Okay? Trying to take everything we know, and is it trying to kill us? That is the question. Kevin says most guys I know talk to their Siri more than they talk to their wives.
Isn't that the truth?
What the hell's a Siri?
It's like when I talk to my phone. Google?
Oh. Oh, that's right. Siri's that little round thing that the CIA put out. Because I remember when it first came out, somebody says, Siri, what is the CIA? And it shuts itself off.
Yeah. It's like, you don't go there.
Yeah.
What explain Jesus to me?
Yeah.
Jesus, is, oh, my dryer shut off. I'll be right back. Here.
But, we got to look at a lot of different things, folks. Now, guys, top of the hour, I got to mention this. Like and share. Like and share. Invite everybody you know, your family, your friends, your loved ones, people you don't like, people you hate, and all the liberals you know. Invite them in to come join us. We're trying to get to 10,000 likes. 10,000 likes on this page. And also, you guys, make sure you go over to YouTube and check out on YouTube Redcon Media. Redcon Media on YouTube. Not Redcon 1, but Redcon 1 Media. Because we're going to start doing a lot of stuff on Redcon 1 Media. Also, hashtags. You guys, I'm going to type it in here. I want you guys to start hashtagging this. I type it right? Yep. Okay, I just typed it in there. It's in the comments. Hashtag RC1 and hashtag Redcon1 Media. Guys, we're trying to do these things. We're trying to build this page. We're trying to get things going. We need y'all's help. So if you can, boom, help us out. Help us out. Do a lot of hashtags. Do a lot of hashtags. Go to YouTube and look up Redcon1 Media. Also, Sarge has a store, believe it or not. He has a store on this page, Redcon One Media. Go look at the store. There's t-shirts and all the merchandise in there. Guys, go look at that. There's a whole bunch of stuff on there. Okay. Also, if you want to send in support, there's 2 PayPals up there. There's one for me, Mr. Brutally Honest, and there's one for Redcon One. Okay. It's PayPal me, Big Sarge 101. If you send a donation or support into the PayPal me, Big Sarge 101, in the notes section, put that you sent this donation in via the Mr. Brutally Honest show or the Patriotic Ranchers show. That way we know where it's coming from. And that's going to help us really build this profile and this page up. And this platform's growing, ladies and gentlemen. It's growing. How many of you guys know of Eric Thompson? Let me see some thumbs and some hearts if you guys know who Eric Thompson is. Well, guess what? Eric Thompson is now part of Redcon One Media. I like that. I like the fact that Eric's going to be on here with us now. Yeah. So, yeah. So, I'm sorry. I was just looking at the comments here for a second. I'm trying to multitask and do 3 or 4 different things. You know, I'm going to be like Elizabeth Warren, ladies and gentlemen. I really am. I'm going to get me a beer. If y'all got a beer, if y'all got some whiskey, you got your coffee, you got your tea, you got your water, let's drink a beer to Redcon One Media. And the start, excuse me, and the start of 2019. Let's kick it off. Let's get this bitch fired up. Sorry, excuse my language. Hey, Paula, how you doing? You know, here's the biggest thing, ladies and gentlemen. We got a lot of stuff going on. We got a lot. See, Elizabeth Warren, she drinks that shitty beer. I drink the good stuff. But, you know, we got a lot of things going on. And we need your support. We need your donations to help us grow. Okay? Man, that tasted good. The mountains are still cold, or still blue, so you know it's cold. That's right, Dan Baker. Redcon One Media beer. I like that. We're going to have to get Big Sarge to get a beer cup. You think we can get Kid Rock to make us a beer? He does own that brewery up there in Detroit, don't he? Is it in Detroit? Yeah, we'll talk to Kid Rock, see if he won't make Redcon One Media a beer. How's that sound? Everybody like that?
I just wanted to come and get a party.
You damn right I do. I wouldn't mind having Kid Rock come give me a party. What are you doing?
Are you kidding? We'd have the entire state of Oklahoma in our 100 acres.
We'd have everybody in 6 states over here on this 100 acres.
I don't think I have enough cow to feed everybody.
And for all those people that don't know who we are, this is Little Bit. This is another little gal that's been with me for, how old did I say she was? 9?
Oh, she's in Neanderthal.
9 years. She's my cow dog. Okay. But anyway, so there you go, Caroline. This must be the day people have a drink. It is Saturday. Okay. This is Saturday, but the advantage here is I'm not driving anywhere. Except for we're going to put my happy ass on the couch out there when we're getting said and done. And I'm going to put in another The Lord of the Rings. Or we're going to watch something else.
You might watch something else.
We might watch something else because Donna and Joe decided we need movies. So the other day we went and splurged at Wally World. Oh, excuse me.
I would say so.
And we got a lot of movies. I mean, we got a stack of movies.
We got the 347 bin, you know?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
What'd we find? We might have to watch Tombstone tonight. I'm in the mood for a little eye candy.
There you go. I can't. Which one? Kurt Russell?
Mm-hmm.
Or Sam Elliott?
Mm-hmm.
Or Val Kilmer?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna be sitting over there saying, "Hi, I'll be your Huckleberry."
Sorry, folks.
All right. So anyway, you guys be sure to share and like, and let Big Sarge know.
Subscribe to the channel, folks. You know it doesn't
Yeah,
hurt.
YouTube.
Yeah.
You got to subscribe and hit that notification bell. And that reminds me, I'm glad you said that. People been saying they're not getting notifications for the shows on here. Yeah. She's not getting them. A lot of people. She's not even getting the shows on the Mr. Brutally Honest page. And that's Facebook. They're stopping all this stuff. So you guys, I hate to say this, but every time you got to make sure you click the notifications. But when you go to YouTube under Redcon1 Media, you got to click that bell. You got to subscribe and click that bell so you get your notifications.
Yes.
Because we are putting tons of stuff on there. Not only Big Sarge's, but Zach's shows on there, Jason's stuff, Alex stuff, my stuff, Eric's stuff's going on there. George's stuff is going to be going on there. We got a ton of stuff we're putting on there. We need people.
And you know what? It's easier for you guys to share with your friends, your like-minded people. I mean, how else are we going to know that they're out there? How are they going to know that we're out here if you don't share the good news? You know, and I hate to use the term good news because I know that means the gospel. But we need some good news in this country, folks, quite frankly, on both realms of that. So.
Oh, yeah, we do. We got so much negativity going on. It's unfreaking real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unreal. So we need some positive, you know, and how do we get positivity back?
You know what? Normally, I don't know if y'all remember this, but like when you were a kid, everybody started the good cheer. You know, be kind and loving to your neighbor and the whole goodwill and, you know, to your fellow man. And it lasted probably up until at least after February 14th. But let me tell you what, this last 2 years, I felt like we have gone from October to October without any good cheer whatsoever. And I'm just talking in general. I'm talking about our politics, our religion, our society in general. Our nation is in shambles, and we have no goodwill. We have no cheer towards our fellow man. Is it a bad pen? I'd probably pull it out of the dryer. But, you know, we just really need to get back to that and share. I mean, here's my gift to you. Share with people. Subscribe. You know, let's all join in. Let's all find out who else is out there. You might be surprised that maybe it's your neighbor.
Dan Baker's got a good idea.
What's that? Share.
Call it Cattle Beer Company, CBC. I like that.
I do too. Cattle Beer Company. They're going to say it tastes like cow pee.
That's right. Budweiser tastes like draft horse piss anyway.
We love Kid Rock too, Jessica. Absolutely. I'm formerly a Michigan girl, so.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. Kid Rock is like down the road from where I live. So, but yeah, share type doesn't hurt. Just click the button. You'll get more notifications than I do. And the funny thing is, I'm the admin on Mr. Brutally Honest page, and I don't even get the notices. So it's like, this is pretty sad, Facebook. So Marita says, I love tap beer.
Yeah, tap beer good too. Tap beer is really, you know, when I lived in Washington State, I never knew what a microbrew was. I never heard of it. You know, I'm from down this country, and that's before it started getting big. I went to Washington State to stay with my sister for a while to get to know her up there at Mount Baker, Sumas area. Well, between Mount Baker and Sumas, there was a microbrew there. And I stopped in there. I was kind of like, she goes, you want a beer? I said, yeah, give me a Coors Light. Well, don't serve Coors Light. Well, what do you got? Well, we got all these beers. I said, what the hell are those? And, you know, moose something. And I'm kind of like, what the hell? She goes, you've never had a microbrew before, have you? No, never heard of it. She goes, where are you from? I said, I damn sure ain't from Washington State. I'll guarantee you that. She goes, it sounds like you're from the South. And I said, yeah, buddy.
Nancy's watching tonight.
Who?
Nancy. Hi, Nancy. How are you? Good to have you with us, Nancy.
Anyway, so yeah, hi Nancy, how are you? When I was up in Washington, I said, well, fine, give me a microbrew. She brought out a board that long with glasses that tall. And each one of them were full with all the beers they make. And they were all dark beers, which I love dark beer. So anyway, I'm like, Moose Drool. I said, that one's pretty good. And they drank another one, Fisherman's Fish something. I mean, they had all these weird names. And I'm sitting there and I drank all of these. Kind of like, I probably need to get me something to eat. And she comes back and says, well, have you decided yet? And I go, yeah, but I can't remember which one's which. She goes, hold on a second. She came back with another board full of drinks.
And yet the tab hasn't even probably started yet.
No. So I'm saying, I went through 4 of these things. She goes, okay, which ones do you like the best? Because I started stacking them. I started stacking them like stars, 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars. And I started doing that. But after my 4th go of all the samples, I started forgetting which ones were which.
Not good. I hope your sister was driving.
No, I was by myself. So I said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
I thought your sister wanted you to go.
No, I was going up to see her.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood. My bad.
And I said, I'll tell you what I do. The one with the most glasses stacked up, bring me that one. And she reached over, smelled it. She goes, oh, that's Moose Drool. I drank like 2 full beers of that. I called a taxi.
There you go.
Come take me home. I left my keys with the bartender. I said, I'll be back in the morning to get my truck. I said, oh, yeah, by the way, don't try to get my truck because the dog eats you.
Yeah.
There's a dog in your truck?
There's a dog in your
truck. There's my dog in my truck.
Jay wants to know how many states you've lived in.
How many states? Okay, give me that atlas.
No, just rattle them off.
Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Idaho, Nevada, Oregon, Utah, Washington, California, New Mexico, Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, basic training in Georgia, Kentucky, military stuff.
That's quite a few. He's a rambling man, folks.
That's it. Every state west, from Texas, North Dakota west, and then 1 or 2 states over. But I've been to a lot of states when I was hauling cattle. Been to Florida, Tallahassee, hauled a lot of cattle out of Tallahassee. Hauled some cattle out of Georgia, a lot of cattle out of Louisiana. So I've been a lot of places. You know, somebody's asking me about working ranches. And they said, well, how many ranches you worked on? I said, well, I've worked on ranches. Because when I was single, it's pretty easy to do that. Because you get hired on what's called for the season. You're a seasonal guy. You're there for calving season. And after calving, you got branding season, of course, and which is tied in with it. And then you move the cattle to the summer pastures, and they usually keep 1 or 2 guys, and that's the season. You're there for the summer. And so then you go find another job. So usually what's called the circle. A bunch of us would make phone calls, and these ranches would hire seasonal guys and pay us $1,200 a month to come in there and live in a bunkhouse and work cattle. So I've worked in a lot of states, sometimes 2 or 3 times. I did that for years as a single man.
Lee says, why not just say where you haven't? I said it's a shorter list.
Yeah, exactly. But somebody's asked me, well, how many cattle have you ever worked? I can't even begin to imagine. The biggest ranch I worked on for cattle-wise, we had 11,000 mother cows.
Oh, yeah, Minnesota. He lived in Minnesota, Leslie.
I did?
Yeah, didn't you say Minnesota?
No, Michigan.
Oh, I guess not. My bad.
Michigan. Did you live in Minnesota?
No, I'd like to go to Minnesota, though.
Did I put my derby poles on you in Minnesota?
No.
You want me to tell them how the first time I touched you, how your eyes got like that big?
Get back to what else were you supposed to talk about tonight?
But anyway, I can't tell you how many cattle I've seen in my lifetime. I can't tell you how many horses I've rode in my lifetime and how many miles of fence that I've rode. But I wouldn't change it for anything, because to me, living the cowboy life, you're never going to make a dime. You're going to go broke, in all honesty. But it's a love it or leave it life. And I love it. But somehow, some way, the door's going to open, and we're going to start making $1 or $2. If the Democrats quit screwing with us and the USDA gets out of our business, then we'll be making money.
It's hard. You know, it's almost, I hear a lot of people, I listen to a lot of different YouTube people, a lot of nurses, women, and not that I don't like listening to the guys, don't take me wrong, I'm not anything, you know, racially or sexually motivated in any which way, but stop. They're talking, a lot of them are talking about we're looking at another depression as such. Maybe not as severe as the one that they had in the 30s, but we're looking at some major upheaval coming down the pike, and it kind of scares me. And I don't know if it does you guys. I don't know if you hear the same stories that I do or listen to the same folks and people that I do, but it puts a little fear of God in you. Makes you think that you need to be, you know, getting your little victory garden back going again, and maybe stocking your pantry more than just 3 days worth. Get some batteries. I mean, people, I don't want to be a doomsday sayer or anything like that, but it could happen.
Yeah.
It really could. I mean, we are not exempt from anything.
Well,
if it doesn't happen, it's okay. You're still stocked and prepped and everything.
You listen to the Patriot Nurse?
I listen to Patriot Nurse. I listen to Lisa Haven. You know.
And those are your two main ones that you really get a lot of info from.
Yes. And
they're both very intelligent.
Very, very intelligent. They're
and I listen to them too. And Donna comes home, did you get the one I sent you? Yeah, but I haven't listened to it yet. And it makes me go, holy crap.
Yes. They're very on to their information. They both come from different aspects of life. Patriot Nurse is a nurse, and she does classes and things like that where she educates people. Yeah, we need to be educated people. And this is not only just common sense. We're talking about a woman who has gone to school, who has been in the trenches of, you know, the medical profession. Lisa Haven looks at a lot of things in the political realm, and she's up to date. There's nothing wrong with expanding your knowledge and expanding your friends, your comrades, and that sort of thing. So, you know, it doesn't hurt to do that. So share with people, you know, subscribe. It doesn't hurt, you know, it just keeps us on our toes. I don't want to be locked in the dark anymore. When the SHTF hits the fan, I want to make sure that I'm there. I'm prepared. I know what to do, and I know where I'm going with it. So
I'm going to open up the phone lines here in just a couple minutes, guys. But one of the things too, a question was brought up today. If, as a conservative party, if in order for us to bring things back, because we know the Republicans aren't doing this, and this is something to think about. This is something pretty intense. We need to look at what the things we need to change right now in order to start turning this around and bringing our republic back. Okay? So if there's one thing that we could do right now, what's the number one thing we should work on to get repealed, recalled, to start working on in the process of bringing our country back? Should we start working on the process of having another Continental Congress? What can we do as conservatives to change something right now and then get that changed and then start on something else? This question was brought up to me by one of you guys, and Jeff, I want to thank you for that. And there's a lot of Jeffs on here, so you guys are going to scratch your head and figure out which Jeff I'm talking about. But this question was brought up to me today. How about we start with one thing? We fix it, and we go to another, and we go to another, and then we go to 2 at a time. And once we get 2 of them fixed at a time, then we go to 3 at a time. So name one thing you guys want fixed right now. And then here's my question. How do we go about doing it? Because we know rallies don't work.
No.
Rallies do not work at all. You know, just like Kevin John Hopkins said, economic collapse is inevitable. Mm-hmm. They're going to keep kicking the can of doubt or debt down the road until the road dead ends. Exactly. So what can we do right now as the Republican, conservative, moderate, independents, What can we do to stop all this upheaval right now? One thing. What is it? I want you guys to tell us the one thing that we can do as a people of the Republic of the United States. What should we do first? Now, this is critical thinking time. This is not emotional thinking. This is critical thinking time. What do we go after first? That's a deep subject.
I mean, do you take it in? It's kind of like when you have a debt. They say take the smallest ones first, you know, get them paid off, and then concentrate on the bigger ones, and so on until you get, you know, you get to the root of all of it, and it's all gone. But do we do that just the opposite? I mean, do we start at the top while our foundation crumbles underneath us?
Well, Kevin again says a convention of the states might be the only way to change the Constitution and add a balanced budget amendment. That's one thing. Do we do a convention of the states to get term limits imposed? Do we do a convention of the states to make sure that we implement the original 13th Amendment?
I see a bottom line here, and I hear it being accountability. Total accountability. You know, we elect these people, and they don't do what they promise, except our president, and he's pissing a lot of people off by doing just that, by being accountable for the things that he said. He's a man of his word. We have people in politics that get in there and they promise us the moon, and they never deliver, do they? I mean, It could be black as night, and that moon ain't never going to shine.
Right.
So I'm just saying, I hear a lot of accountability issues going on there that we need to get back to. And I think once we're accountable.
You know, we live in a society where we owe money to everybody. Whether we borrowed money off of somebody or the bank or whatever the situation is, we got bills to pay. We owe money because of taxes. We owe money because we're behind on everything. How do we get ahead? Okay, a lot of people have already seen it through the tax breaks that the president has given us. They're starting to put the change that's supposed to come back to them into their pocket, and the government's not keeping it. Okay, so that's been happening. Now, as a people, what do we do? What do we do? Now, Jerry Cox says we need to raise awareness of what's happening. Too many have a blind look on life. That's exactly correct. But how do we do that, Jerry? That's what these shows are for. We're trying to instill people to wake up, to see what's going on. So how do we get less government, people to quit being sheeple, and wake up? Take the blinders off. This isn't a Pink Floyd video called The Wall. I'm sorry.
Oh, I feel a song coming on.
You know, so what do we do? All right, so I am going to open the phones. You guys call me and let me know what you think. Okay, and we're going to go from there. You know, because this is a very important thing. We can sit here all day long. I don't care who it is. Alex Jones, Sean Handy, Rush, Lord Ingram, and Coulter, me, Big Sarge, Alex, Zach, John, George, Eric, Jeremy, Jermaine, Will. We can do all these shows all day long. Dominic Izzo, I don't care who it is. But we need to concentrate. How do we get everybody onto one thing? And then we change that one thing. That is the question. That is the question. So you guys call in. You tell me what your thoughts are. And we'll go from there. Again, this is the Patriotic Rancher Show. I am Mr. Brutally Honest. That's Mrs. Brutally Honest. And we are setting in for Big Sarge tonight, who's home taking care of the missus for her time going through some medical issues. And we're glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. We are glad you're here. Just be sure to like and share us and invite everybody you don't like. Plus everybody you like and everybody you love and everybody you care about. So, you know, does the convention of the states open up a can of worms, like Jerry Cox says? Yes and no. Because you got to get a majority of the states to agree on everything. Now, here's a nice thing about it. The Convention of the States does not have to involve your current state legislators or your current federal legislators at all. It doesn't. Everybody that's on the committees in the conventions of the state is appointed by the people of states. Think of that. What do you guys think of that? You know, this is all critical thinking time. And the tough part is how do we get past that stepping stone that we keep tripping on? You know, Kevin Henley says our president will never get anything done. Hillary and her bunch is proof of that. You're absolutely right, Kevin. Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Obama's, Michael and Barack should all be in prison. George Bush should be in prison. We have so many treasonous people out there, not only creating treason, but sedition on top of that. John Kerry, you violated the Logan Act. Your ass ought to be in prison. I'm surprised you're not in Gitmo right now. It would be nice if you was. Good night, Jim. Thanks for joining us. You know, so it makes me wonder. It really does. You know, will Obama Mount Rushmore? No way in hell. No way in hell will he be put on Mount Rushmore. That's not going to happen. So, folks, let me hear your opinions. Let me hear your opinions on what we're going to do. I like that, Kevin. Kevin John says, if they add Obama to Mount Rushmore, I'm going to personally carve Rush Limbaugh to the right of Obama and change the name of the monument to Mount More Rush. I like that. That's pretty cool. So, guys, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. You know, I feel pretty honored that I was asked tonight to sit in for Big Sarge, and it kind of, I didn't even hesitate. I got the message. Yeah, sure. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. So I love what's happening here with Redcon One Media. I really do. I love the aspect of how it's growing. I love the aspect that there's enemies out there. We actually have enemies of Redcon One Media, ladies and gentlemen. We got people out there that's trying to destroy everything we're all building. And I love that fact. I love it. Here's the worst part. They're in our own damn conservative party. I got a phone call here, and I think I know who this is. G'day, mate. How are you?
G'day, mate. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Brett.
I'm just cooking a nice BLT sandwich. Nothing like the smell of bacon in the house. Yum.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, so what's going on, Brett? What's your opinions?
Well, okay, back to your big question. What is the one thing we can do? And you know what? The one thing that America can do, Australia could do, England could do, Canada could do, what we need, and especially after seeing what the Democrats and Pelosi and everything else, what we need is a department that actually controls the politicians. And there are rules and standards set that the people in this department are everyday people, they're everyday voters. You know, like a watchdog.
Right.
That can turn to these people and like this Palestinian woman that opened her mouth and said all that, can turn around and go, you know what? You violated the standards. You won't get paid for 2 months. And fine them. You know, do things to now hold them accountable, because the problem is, no matter who you vote in, no matter who gets into power and everything else, there's no accountability. I mean, if there was accountability, Hillary would already be in jail. Comey would be in jail. Obama would be in jail.
Right.
There's no accountability. And the one thing that we all need is, you know what? We need to turn to our government and go, look, we the taxpayers are sick to death of paying for your lifestyle, for you to run around and do whatever you like and not support the people. So now we're going to hold you accountable. And when you're found out for corruption and everything else, all your assets are seized, your property is seized, and the money goes to charity. You start bringing in, you know, it's basically being a headmaster of a school.
Yep.
And this is what we need, but we don't need more politicians in with that body being the headmaster.
Mm-hmm.
We need real mums and dads, real taxpayers, people that know the difference between right and wrong.
Yeah.
And they need to be held accountable. And
right.
Once you start disciplining a few of them and you start taking their money, their assets, and you shut them down or they get fired, I can tell you now, other people are going to start falling into line and actually, believe it or not, doing the job they're getting paid for. Instead of just getting into office and doing whatever they want.
Let me ask you this, Brett. Do you think that nothing's going to change until we have a civil war?
Look, I don't think anything's going to change. You've got Uncle Donald in power. There are 350 people waiting to be nominated, and the Democrats just holding it back.
Mm-hmm.
There are people he's trying to get into positions and offices, and they're holding it back. Now, he needs this money for the war, and they're holding it back. They prefer to give $154 billion to immigrants and people overseas and illegals.
Right.
So, no matter who you vote in, and I can tell you, midterm elections have just proved it. You know, the way your voting system is set up, and it's been designed by the Democrats. So the system is to work for them. You could have 49 red states in America
mm-hmm.
and one blue state, and yet the Democrats win power. That's how they work.
Right.
Because they're the only people in the world that get dead people, illegal immigrants, and everybody else to vote. You know, they're the only people that can produce 16,000 votes out of a little county where only 4,000 people live.
Right.
And there's no accountability. This is a problem. Unless, you know, the nation turns around and goes, we're fed up, we're going to put a watchdog in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got to be done worldwide. It's got to be done in my country. It's got to be done in England. Because unless we rein in these people, nothing is going to change. And
right.
Trying to vote them out is getting harder and harder because the system's corrupt.
Oh, yeah.
So they're saying, you know, vote them out.
Right. You know, and over here in America, we look at it this way. We have a Justice Department for a reason. What's the number one job of the Justice Department? Well, it's in the name. It's in the name, Justice Department. So the Justice Department should be ensuring that all the laws that we have on file for this country should be upheld, but they're not. The Justice Department they're just watching out for their cronies.
Putting in liberal judges, soft sentences, hiding the true facts of illegal immigrants. They're doing everything but their job, and this is the problem.
Right. And that's the part that sucks. They're scratching somebody's back just to say, okay, we're doing something, and then that's it.
Yeah. Look, it's 2019 has got to be the year of accountability.
Yes. I agree.
We've got to hold them more accountable, because I tell you what, you're held more accountable than any politician in your country.
Mm-hmm.
I'm held more accountable than any politician in my country, and that's not the way that it works. They've set up the system. This has been built over decades. This isn't something overnight. The main thing is now people are waking up. People are seeing the corruption. People are seeing that their tax dollars are going for stupid things.
Right.
And they're getting tired because it's like, why am I working so hard and doing all the right things, and at the end of the day, no matter what happens, I get screwed?
Well, you know, and that's where, this is where we as Americans, we have to, and you're going to come over here and you're going to see kind of what we're dealing with firsthand, especially in Oklahoma, because the state of Oklahoma now is trying to pass a bill, and they're having a hearing on the 11th of January or 17th. I'm going to go to it, I think, on censoring free speech against our own state government. But this is why my most important question is this. What can we do as a people? What's the very first thing we can do in order to stop all of this bullshit and stealing from us and lying and manipulating us? What can we do to start taking back the Republic of the United States of America? And you guys are facing that same issue in Australia. So what do we do?
Yeah.
Rallies don't work.
Well,
so do we do signatures?
Voting doesn't work.
No.
Petitions aren't going to work because they're going to be like, oh, great, here's a whole list of people that absolutely hate me, so we'll just put them in a watch list.
Mm-hmm.
We're dealing with corrupt elite.
Yes.
Now, unless the corrupt elite allow a watchdog, then you know what? The only way to ever hurt any of these people, don't pay tax, stop paying money, shut things down. You know, and I'm sorry, I mean, that people would say, hey, that's treasonous and all the rest of it. But it's the only way. We've tried voting, we've tried rallying, we've tried open discussions with them. We've tried everything. Now, it's going to get to the stage where it's got to be an ultimatum where we're putting in a watchdog that you've got to answer to, but you know what? There's no more money.
Exactly. Exactly. They robbed us blind. You know, it's like here in the States, in the United States, we have a Constitution and a Bill of Rights. And like Kerry Rodriguez says, wasn't the Constitution set up for the states to run the individual? It's becoming less of that anymore. And that is so freaking true. And it is.
Yeah. I mean, ask yourself this question, Chris, and I can answer it for my country, but I'll ask you this question. How much laws and legislation has been passed in the last 5 to 10 years?
They haven't passed shit that does anything any good. Nothing.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a whole lot of laws that are against the people, you know, like legislation to bring in more tax.
Yeah.
Legislation that if you do this, you know. In Australia, in the last 10 years, they've passed over 10,000 different laws and legislation, and yet they've never repealed one of the older laws. I mean, Kerry Packer said it. Kerry Packer was a very smart businessman, an Australian. And he said, before you bring in a new law, get rid of an old law.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we got laws on our books here that date back to the 1800s, and some of them are still damn viable for a reason. It's like one of the laws that we have, and it's held up on the federal end as long as well the state ends. If you're caught stealing cattle, you can still be hung. If you're caught stealing horses, you can still be hung. There's laws in Oklahoma, believe it or not, it's still on the law book. I looked it up. It says that every business in the state of Oklahoma, no matter what it is supposed to have a hitching post outside your business so I can tie my horse up there. But they've passed laws that says if my horse shits on the road, then I get hit with a fine because my horse pooed or peed on the road. So, yeah, there's laws like that. I mean, there's laws that says if you spit on the street, there's a fine of $25. That was imposed back in the 50s. Or you could go to jail. There's laws that says if you're caught jaywalking, you can go. Now, we have laws now like the Logan Act that Kerry violated by going over to Iran and talking against the president. That is sedition. We have the Logan Act that's not even being imposed. We have the RICO Act that's not being imposed at all. People are getting away with everything, even murder.
Well,
They're getting.
I know. You ask yourself this: how many laws have the deep state broken? How many people who have innocently died trying to expose the deep state, and really coincidental, the law of suicide. Everybody's a suicide.
Right. Now, I mean,
and yet nobody gets charged.
And
nobody gets done yet. They want to put the laws on you that if you go and harm your neighbor or anything else, mate, you'll go to prison.
Well, just like our government passed a law, Obama passed a law, executive order, and then the Democrats voted it in, that we'll get fined if we do not have health insurance, i.e. Obamacare. I will get fined if I don't have health insurance. Well, I have the VA. They're the only insurance I have. But I've gotten letters from them, even here recently. I got a letter saying you don't have any health insurance. You could be fined. Fine me.
Yeah.
Fine me.
Yeah.
You son of bitches can kiss my ass because I'm not paying. Because I have the VA, and that's where I get everything done through the VA. And, you know, we have laws like that. But then at the same time, they pass this law that every American, if you don't get health insurance, you're going to get paid. Or you're going to get fined. Therefore, you must get on Obamacare. But our representatives passed a law exempting themselves from doing that.
Correct.
Now, this is where everybody keeps sharing this thing and it's false. But we do need a law on the books that states this. We need a law on the book that states that the House, the Senate, everybody cannot pass a bill that exempts them from what we must go through. If they pass a bill and we have to abide by that bill for the rest of our lives, then they should also. But they exempt themselves all the time.
And also, you know what? You need that bill that anything that you bring in, any legislation bills or anything, there must be full disclosure to the American public.
Oh, yeah. Full disclosure.
You should know what's in it.
There is no full disclosure.
Full transparency.
There is none of that. There's none of that at all. You know, they do so much crap, it's unreal. I have the House of Representatives downloaded onto my deal so I can look at every legislation that goes through there, plus the Senate. And I look at that daily just to see what they do, what they vote on, who votes on what. You know, I look at that, and they're not doing jack shit at all. You know, and it makes me wonder. These people are getting paid $100 and some odd $1,000 a year to do what?
Don't forget the lobbyists. Don't forget the lobbyists, mate. That's
yeah. The lobbyists are the ones that make some millionaires. You know, and that's a shame. But that's what we deal with here. So, well, Brett, I got other people trying to call in. So I hate to.
No worries, mate. You take care. God bless.
All right, thank you.
God bless everybody in here in America, and Uncle Donald, and best wishes to Donna. Take care, mate.
You bet. Give me a jingle when you get here.
Okay, mate. Cheers.
All right, adios. All right, I had a missed call. I'm going to call you back. You was in Michigan, so I'm going to call you. Is that right? Yeah. Michigan call, I'm calling you. Leslie, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. We really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a Patriotic Rancher Show, Mr. Brutally Honest. Who's this?
Well, hello, this is John.
John?
Yeah.
You're up in Michigan?
From Michigan.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been down south quite a bit too, but I'm up in Michigan right now.
So how's things
but
up
anyway,
how's things in the state of
I don't know
Michigan?
what we're going to do with this tyrannical government that we got. This is absurd. The kind of actions that they're doing in there. I mean, they're swearing at cussing and just carrying on about this and that. And here we are trying to spread the love and trying to be a peaceful people, and they're out there taking bats at us and everything. And their government, the government is just allowing it to happen, and not even that they're allowing it to happen, they're endorsing it to occur.
Yes, exactly. You know, the Democrats thrive on negativity in any way they can get it. That is their number one endorsement tool, is negativity. And it just makes me wonder, is that what we've come to? Is we've come to a society where we must deal in negativity 24/7, 365 in order to try to get a point across? You know, I just don't I don't understand that. Do you?
Yeah. It doesn't need to be. That's the thing, is that you got a positive side and you got a negative side.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you got a positive and you got a negative, they just don't attract.
Right.
And they shouldn't be that way. They should not attract. It was never intended to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is can we come up with some common ground? And right now, Mr. Trump is exactly what he is trying to do, is get to a level of some common ground. And the government want to sit there and point fingers and swear, but yet they want to turn around and talk about, well, let's go on and spend all these billions of dollars to secure it with all these guards and the military, which the military, in my opinion, yeah, they need to be there because of the situation right now. But do they need to stay there in the long term? No, absolutely not. They need to be out there fighting terrorists in other lands that are, a threat to our, to our land.
Exactly.
Okay? And to think that here we are fighting over matters that are the matter.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I don't even know. I mean, when I grew up, it wasn't even, if it was a matter, it was a matter, and we was going to deal with it.
Yeah.
And whatever it took to solve the issue, that's what we were going to do. But when we got done, it was done, and it was over, and you were good.
Yeah. You know, it's like when I was a young man, I remember getting to a fist fight. When it's all said and done, we shake hands and go drink a beer. But today it just keeps on and on and on. You know, the whimsical BS that happens now is so asinine, it's unreal. Because they keep beating a dead horse. They really do. They keep beating this dead horse, and it makes no sense of what they're trying to do. Now, it did come out today that it was said that they actually have nothing to provide impeachment papers against Trump, because he himself has not broken any federal laws at all. So they're going to put that on the back burner for right now, but they're beating a dead horse on everything they can. Like this this Green character keeps saying, I'm going to file these papers again. Well, this is BS. It's here it is. Here's some more negative stuff. What about all the positive stuff our president's done? What about all the positive changes? My God, look at fuel prices. Fuel prices have not been this low in damn near 16 years, if not 18 years. Under $2 for regular fuel in some states. You know, it's kind of like, wow, diesel prices are still out the damn roof, but Ghost jumped on the window. But I mean, it's just, here's one of the things. You've been down south and now you're up north. You know the difference between the north and the south. It's pretty damn obvious. Whereabouts are you in Michigan?
Well, I'm up here in Taylor, Michigan, down around Detroit area.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I lived in Detroit for a while, but that's that's a whole other matter. That matter over there, now that's just another sanctuary city. Now you understand, when the president went there, he said, "I'll never go back there again."
Yeah.
Well, I got to agree with him on that, because you go in there and it's just like a bomb hit the middle of that city.
You know, the funny part is,
everywhere you go in that city, now get this, everywhere you go in that city, there's sinkholes opening up all up in the city of Detroit. You can research it. And there's sinkholes going, and it's just the whole ground is just going down.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, the funny part is, there's two big stars from Detroit, Kid Rock and Eminem. Eminem ain't done a damn thing for Detroit at all, but you look at all the money Kid Rock has put into the state of Michigan, it will just blow your ever-loving mind. Same thing with Nugent. Ted Nugent has put a lot of money back into Michigan also, but he don't live there full time. But Kid Rock does, and he's a Detroit boy, you know. And Donna's from Michigan. She's been down there. She's there, Flint, all over the country, and she knows what's going on in Michigan. And I tell you, I went to Detroit once, and I wished I had a gun with me, especially when I went to Dearborn.
Oh yeah.
Dearborn is not good. Dearborn's not safe. You know, so yeah, I agree with you. You know, and you look at the difference, and here we are, we're still divided between the North and the South. We're still divided, even though we have moderates, we got conservatives, we're all over the country. The North is still divided from the South.
Yeah.
Or is that just me?
No, it's not just you. And here's the thing of it, though, that I found out. When I got out of Michigan, I found out, for me personally, because but I grew up in the country or on farms and all that stuff. And my father was a very wise, knowledgeable man. He taught me an immense amount of abilities.
Right.
And I went down south, and it was like I was at home. You know what I mean? I talked to people down there, they're like, "Well, you sound like you from down here, you know." But that's the way I could do it. I mean, I could change my voice in a second, you know, because it's like I could adapt to whether I'm down there or up here, but it wasn't like I even needed to adapt.
Right.
They down there, down south, they just take you at your word. Now, if you mess that up, that's on you.
Right. Yeah.
But up here in the city of Detroit, and that area there, it's like they don't even care what your word is, because they don't trust you.
Exactly.
Because of the stuff that goes on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You
exactly.
And that's what we got. That's what we got right now in our government. Is we got another Detroit in the government.
Right.
And it's crazy, you know. And if you think about it, man, I think about this. Detroit is where your government and all that, your FBI headquarters, your main headquarters for your Secretary of State, your main headquarters for your DHS, all that is right in Detroit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So think about that.
Yeah. You know, we had a lady on here by the name of Carrie Rodriguez. She says this: if we were all to rise up, we would destroy their game, their backs. On our backs, because we're on our knees. It's not supposed to be that way. And we are on our knees right now, especially you guys in Michigan. Holy crap, you guys had got people running for office, even on the locals, the state end, that was scary. And now you got some federal people in there that's damn scary. So are they trying to make the whole state Sharia bound? Are they trying to destroy everything in Michigan? You know, and it's not only Michigan. There's other states that are following suit, and it's damn scary. You know, so what would you do if you can get people, like-minded people together in the state of Michigan? What would be the number one thing you would want to change first?
Well, the number one thing that I would try to go after is I would try to go after you know, the fact that we're paying. What I would do is I would attack it from the outside in. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I would attack. I would get everybody together and start to attack it with like taxes and things like that. You know, start up your ballot, get people involved that way. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Hey, you know, if you want to sign this ballot, sign this ballot. We're against paying all this tax, and we're not getting our roads fixed. We're not getting, you know, and we've got all these mean agencies right here in Michigan, and these people are supposed to be helping us, and they're not doing none of it. And here you go. Here's the ballot. Get the ballot signed. You know what I mean? And the more people you can bring and group together that sign that ballot, and you can get them to come to a central meeting, let's say, a central meeting place. And you all just start having meetings, and you go before you go with that group of people, you go in to these meetings that they have in these cities like Detroit and Lansing, and you go in there and you voice your opinion. You know, but you get a bunch of you together, and you go in there and you say, look, we're the people. This is our paperwork. This is our, you know, this is what we've done. You know, we've done our work. You know what I'm saying? We've got our signatures.
Right.
Now, this is what we want.
Well, I have to agree with Kerry here. You know, one thing the president is doing right now, he's teaching the American public something. The government is the president is teaching the American people that America can still function with less government. Now, the Democrats don't think so. Now, here's the funny part is, I've been reading articles how less government is starting to hurt more states. No, it's not. It's not. So, you know, because once the government starts back up, everybody's going to get that back pay. That's just how they do it. But President Trump is trying to show us that we can function on less government. So if we can do that, does that mean our states need less government? Yes, we need less government in our states. And yes, just like you said, we need to get a whole gaggle of us that's like-minded on the same page, going up to our state capitals and saying, enough of this. Here's our signatures. We want to make sure this is brought up, and we are here to make sure this is implemented, because all of you people in this house work for us. We don't work for you. Y'all work for us. So yes, that's what I agree with you. That's what needs to happen. But how do we get that happen? How do we get everybody together to do that? That is the million-dollar question.
You know, it's a door-to-door thing. It's like any type of anything that you try to build, it's going to be, if you're going to do it and you're going to do it well, you're going to have to go door to door.
Right.
It's just the way it is.
Yes, we're going to have to get back to the society where everybody talks about politics. State, city, county, local, it don't matter.
You know, stop being afraid. Stop with the, I hate to say it, buddy, but stop with the transgender patties.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And get with the matter of it. You know, and let's work something out here. Let's come together and let's figure out what it is that we want as a whole.
Right.
That is going to function and work best for everybody involved.
Right. Right. You know, and that's...
You don't have to agree with everything that's on the ballot.
Oh, no. Hell no.
Everything on there you don't have to agree with.
No, and that's the beauty of this country is we expect you not to agree with everything. You know, so here's a question. Caroline Hudson brings up this question. Get rid of all the, i.e. combine the districts together. Therefore, it brings less people from your state that should be representing you. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, because here's the thing. We got too many we got too many people in right now that are there for one thing, and that's to gain.
Oh,
They're not there to serve the people. They're there to gain. And if we can reduce that matter down and make that matter not such a matter, then obviously the people are going to have more to do with the matter of it.
We know for a fact they're not there to help us, the people. We know that for a fact.
Right.
You know, we know for the fact that they try to do everything that's based on emotions. And we need to get away from the emotion aspect and go from there. So, all right, John. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Yep. Y'all take it easy tonight now.
You bet. Feel free to call in anytime.
Yeah, all right, sounds good. I'm going to continue watching you because I like to hear you.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, here's the biggest thing. We can say things that hit home. We can say things that have a ton of meaning to it. But as a society of people that's tired of the government dictating their tyrannical rule on top of us, how do we take back our government, ladies and gentlemen? What's the number one thing we need to start on? This is critical thinking. I am hoping, and I'm going to be praying that you guys send me, send Big Sarge, send Zach, send Alex, everybody at Redcon One Media. You send us messages or ideas, or send them, put it on the page. What we can start at as a people, how can we come together to start taking back our republic? That is your challenge. I don't know about y'all, but I love challenges because they mean a lot. Because right now, ladies and gentlemen, 2019, not only is it time to drink beer, it's time to step up to the plate. You know, as my elders used to say, it's time to shit or get off the pot. And we're beyond that aspect. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, I've had a fun night. It's been great. We had the queen of the Patriotic Rancher Show, Miss Donna Joe, the beautiful Miss Donna Joe, joined us tonight. I'm so thankful she joined in here tonight. Woo! Made my night. So, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys being here. Big Sarge, thank you for letting me step in for you, and I appreciate it. Guys, go to YouTube, the Redcon One Media page. Subscribe, hit the bell button until you get notifications. Also, if you hit the see more, you pull down, you'll see the 2 PayPal deals. You'll see mine and you'll see Big Sarge 101. Send your donations, send your support. Help us out. Try to build everything we're trying to do. Because without y'all, we wouldn't get none of this done. Ladies and gentlemen, we love you guys. Start spreading the hashtags around. Hashtag Redcon1Media and hashtag RC1. And I want to thank everybody that called in. Brett, John, I appreciate you guys calling in. I love talking to you. I'd love to talk to you anymore. Anybody can call in. Anybody. So on our next show, which will be Monday night, 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m. Pacific, call in. Guys, we love you. And just remember, God bless the Republic of the United States of America. God bless the people of the Republic. And if you sit on a wooden fence too long, you're going to get splinters in your butt. So get your ass up, pull them splinters out. Put your feet down and go forward, never backwards. And let's take our republic back in 2019. And let's make America truly great again. We love you. God bless you. God bless everybody. And we will see you guys later. Have a good night. Bye-bye.